Hello there everyone, my name is Nathan Birch. In this video I'm going to go ahead and do the first couple of steps in this assignment 3 for our Essential Web Tools course. So we're going to clone a repository, create a branch, add our code, and some of these I won't be able to do right now, but I'll at least walk through a couple of these. So clone this repository. So I'm just going to click on this. I open this up. I'm going to click on code to clone it, and I'm just going to copy this link, and then I'm going to open up VS Code. Now I'm going to decide where I want to clone this, and so what I'm going to do, I want to put it in this folder, and so I'm just going to right click on here and hit Open in Integrated Terminal. You can see I'm in my course activity templates. I'll just say git clone, and I'm just going to paste that link, and it should create a new folder in here, and there it is, HTML template 2. Okay, and so if I look at this, I should see all the same code that is right here, and it looks like that worked out pretty nicely. Okay, we want to investigate the code, so what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to open up our index.html, and I'm going to hit open with live server, and here's what our code looks like. So we have a nice Bootstrap application. So Bootstrap is basically handling all of this for us. These nice animations, how everything looks, how things are responding. If I right click and hit inspect, we can see that things are pretty responsive. As we scroll down, you can see that those images collapsed, and this is all collapsing. We have a nice menu up here that still works even on a tablet or even on mobile if we got it down even smaller. And again, all this was made with Bootstrap, which is a CSS and JavaScript framework made by Twitter. So we investigated this a little bit. If I click on one of these portfolio items, it pops up a modal. Okay, and so what we're going to do for this task today, open this, live server, check. We can also see what the production version of this code looks like, and it looks exactly the same. Okay. But this is the production version. And then in here, modify the code. So we'll all be working in the same index.html file. There will be merge conflicts eventually. Perform a git pull to ensure you have the latest code. So right now, this would be a little bit redundant because I just did a clone, okay? But anytime, cd HTML template 2. So that just went into my HTML template 2 directory, which is where this repository is. And now right here I can say git pull, and it says already up to date. And so anytime I start working on a task, I'm always going to do a git pull before I start. Okay. I can also do a git pull over here with the source control graphical user interface. So let me find my HTML template 2. I could click over here and say pull. And we don't have a nice message over here, but that'll also do that for us. So, okay, so let's look at our tasks. Let's see what we're going to do here. Modify the line of code that says, all of our students, add your name in place of one of the student placeholders. So I'm just going to search for student 1. Nice. I'll go ahead and change student 3. And I'll put my name in here. Okay. Perhaps before we do this, let's go ahead and create a new branch. So I'm going to undo this right here. And so if I type in Git Status, it should show nothing to commit. I haven't made any changes yet. Now what I want to do is make a new branch. I've actually never done this with the interface over here. Branch. Oh, this is pretty sweet. Create branch. Branch name, I'll just call this Nathan task. Okay, now let's say Git Status. And so notice the difference of when I typed in Git Status this time versus last time. So last time it said on branch master, and I'm up to date with origin master. And this time it said on branch Nathan task, nothing to commit, working tree clean. Okay, so I'm on my own branch now, which is great. And now I'm going to go ahead and make all of my changes. The other way that we could have done that, I could have said git checkout -b and then Nathan task, and that would have created this new branch. That's what the -b does, and it would have checked out that branch that I'm using that branch. Okay, but it looks like our graphical user interface over there worked out great too. So I'll go ahead and change this. I'll put my name in here. I'll hit save. Now if I type in Git Status, it says, hey, you went ahead and modified one thing, but we haven't added it or anything. So we're in a good place. Let's go ahead and look at our instructions and see what else we need to do. Let's make sure that that actually saved it. So I'm going to come over here. And when this refreshes, we should see my name there. Sweet. So that worked. Okay, let's go to our next step. In the portfolio sections, you will showcase one of your projects. Forgive the typos, I'll fix that in a sec. It can be anything you have on GitHub. You'll do the following: add an image that represents your project, show that image on the portfolio section of index.html, and modify the relevant modal. So if we look over here, if I click on one of these, it opens up this modal. And so I want to modify the modal and this to show my image. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I have a fun game down here somewhere in my projects. A snake game. So I'm going to source. I'm pretty sure I have an image in here somewhere. That's audio. Oh, it's in public. There we go. So let's see what this one looks like. That's just a snake. See what our thumbnail looks like. Ooh, that looks kind of nice. We'll use that. Okay. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to come up into this HTML template 2, which is the project that we're working on. And inside of assets and image, I can find all of these PNGs, and I'm just going to right click on there and hit paste. Okay. And if I had this open, in like my File Explorer or something, I could just drag it over from my File Explorer and drop it in Portfolio. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and find one of these portfolio sections. The easiest way for me to do that, I'll just right click on one of these, I'll hit inspect. I'm just going to copy this massive thing. Let's see if we can find this. There we go. Yeah. So this one says cabin, so that's the first one. I'll go ahead and change the second one here. So I'm going to change the piece of cake. Right here, cake. Good. So we found our code that we need to change. And so right here, I'm just going to put snake.png. And let's see if that does it for us. Okay. Oh, this is the live site. Let me close that just so I'm not confused myself. Right here. And that did not work. Okay. Let's see what's going on. So we put... Oh, it's called thumb. So let me rename that so that everyone else knows what's going on. And it should show up now. There we go. Okay, so our image doesn't quite match up with the other ones. Let me go ahead and just click on one of these. So that has the entire image there with it. It's the right size and everything. So I'm just going to leave it like this, but I am going to make it so that the height matches these other ones. So over here, we have our snake image. I could change the size of the image itself, and maybe that'd be the better thing to do in this case. But if I wasn't able to do that, then let's go ahead and do this with CSS. So I'm going to add another class in here, and I'll just say my image. And let's see if this is referencing a local CSS file. It is, styles.css. So come in here, and at the very bottom, I'll go ahead and just add above our media queries. Just find the first one of these. Okay, so that's our last one. That's all that's in a media query. It is, holy cow. So is that, oh, so we have a lot of media queries. Well, I'll just add it to the top then, underneath these declared variables. Yeah, I'll just go right underneath the body. That'll be great. So I'll paste that, and then I'll go ahead and just say height is 200 pixels. Let's see where that lands us. I'll refresh that. Didn't really change anything. Maybe we need to change the container instead. So right here, see what happens if we add that right there. Oh, that worked out great. Okay, we need a little bit bigger. Let's see how big this is. So I hit inspect, and I'm just going to hover over this guy, and it should show me 393 by 283. Does that change? Yeah, that totally just changed. Okay. What if we just say height is 100%? Let's see what that does for us. No. So I went ahead and just made this. This is a program called Snagit, but there are lots of different programs that you can use to edit images. A lot of you guys are probably better at it than I am. I Googled this thing to like round the corners on this, and then I just drug it onto a background. That was the same size as one of these ones that I had copied. So I just saved that. Let's see if it, let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks a little bit better, but it's still not quite showing up. Oh, it's because my CSS. We can take out my CSS now. So let's take that. I'll take that off. I chose that not because we couldn't do it with CSS, but because I wanted it to look consistent with the other ones. So let's save that, and there we go. That looks awesome. Because then no matter what size this is, it'll look pretty much exactly like these other ones. Okay. All right, now let's go ahead and modify our modal, and then we just need to update our changes. Okay. So for the modal, let's see. I could find it probably by searching for cake.png, but all of our modals, it looks like, are down towards the bottom of the page here. So in here, I'm going to change this to snake PNG, and I'm going to call this awesome snake game. Let's see what other data we're looking at here. Lorem ipsum. Nice. Okay, so according to our instructions, we have to add our name here. Add an image that represents your project. Modify the modal to include the title of your project, your name, an accurate description, and the same image. Okay, so we just have to add our name and an accurate description. So right under here, I'll go ahead and just put a paragraph and put my name. And then down here for the description, I'll say, this was a fun snake game that I made while learning, well, that I made to help me learn React.js. It is super fun. You should play it. Try some modifiers, save your score, and let me know if you beat me. Okay, so I'll save that. And let's come back over here. And this looks awesome. Okay, awesome snake game, Nathan Birch. I'll put that underneath the star. Then we have that image, and there's a fun snake game that I made. Blah, 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 blah. Close the window. And that looks good. So let me just move my name here. So I'll search for Nathan Birch. And I'm just going to cut that and put it underneath our star divider stuff here. I'll click here again, and that looks a little bit better. And yeah, I think we'll go ahead and just leave it like that. Okay. So let's head back to our Git world. I'm going to look over here. I'm going to go to HTML template 2. It shows that we're on the Nathan task branch. I'll say finished task for adding project to portfolio, to team portfolio. And I'll go ahead and hit the commit button there. Okay. Now, if I want to push this branch to GitHub, here's how I can do it. Because if I go to GitHub right now, I made that commit, but GitHub still does not see that second branch. I haven't pushed it there yet. The only branch on GitHub is master. Okay, so right here, let's see if there's a good way to do it with the GUI. Push, let's say push to, that is our remote, so we'll click on that. Let's see if it can push that branch there. I've never tried that with the GUI. Let's see if that worked. Hit refresh. Boom, it worked. Nathan task is showing up. It shows right here that it's 1 commit ahead of master, 0 behind it, and I can click here and I can see all the code that is here. Okay. So let's see. Now that this branch is here, if I wanted to make a pull request, what I would do, I would just click on pull request, and I'd say new pull request. I want to merge the Nathan task branch, and I want to merge it with master. Okay. It'll show all the code that I changed, everything that I changed, all the files. It looks like I just added this one snake.png, and I modified our index.html file, and that is it. Okay, and it'll show each line of code that I changed there. And then I could just hit create pull request. Leave a comment, finished Nathan student task, and create pull request. Okay, now this is kind of funny because I'm the administrator of this GitHub, but you'll see that it shows that there's 1 pull request here. Okay, and so if I went in, I could go ahead as the administrator, I could look at this pull request, and I would basically check the commit, look at the files that were changed, make sure that everything looks good, and then I could go ahead and merge it. Okay, and that's how a pull request works. And so now I could come over to our code here, and you can see merge pull request number 1 from Nathan task. And now this should just update our GitHub pages thing here. So let me go to GitHub pages, and you can see there it is. Okay, all of our code is here because that pull request was merged. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that helps. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I know that there will be additional tasks in here, like pulling in another branch and stuff, but hopefully this is helpful for at least getting you guys started.